Hello everyone, welcome to another video in the Predicting with MindsDB series. In this video, we will be forecasting the Tesla stock prices. So let's get started. So we will be using the MindsDB cloud account. So if you don't have one yet, then you can check out my video on how you can sign up. The link is in the description. So once you have signed up, you can simply log into your cloud account. And then you will have a dashboard something like this. And here it consists of three main sections. The top one is the query editor. We can write queries here. And when we write the query and execute it, and the results are displayed in this bottom panel. So this is the result viewer. And towards the right, we have this Learning Hub resources to get started with MindsDB. So in this tutorial, we want to forecast the stock prices for Tesla. So we'll go step by step. So the step one is to import the dataset into MindsDB. So I am using a publicly available dataset from Kaggle, which is this one. Tesla stock data from 2010 to 2020. So I have downloaded this dataset and it is available in my local machine. I will provide the link to this dataset in the description. You can download it from there. So once you have downloaded the CSV file for this dataset, what we want to do is we will click on this add data. Now it will take us to this select your data source. So here we can see MindsDB supports multiple database integrations. But for now, we will switch the tab to files. And here we will click import file. Now we will click here import a file and we will say Tesla and I will say open. Now what I want to do is I want to give the name of the table as Tesla and I will hit the save and continue. So now it says the file is uploaded, and now what we want to do is we will execute these two sample queries. The first one will list out all the tables so that we can check whether the table we created just now is present or not. And the next one will help us fetch the data records inside this table we just created. So let's execute one by one. So I will select this query first and I'll say run. So it returned the table list and we have the table Tesla present here. Now we will select the second query and we will say run again. Okay, so we got the data records. So we are good to go with the dataset now. The next step is to create the predictor model. So MindsDB provides a keyword create predictor that we will use now to create this model. So I'll type the command. It's create predictor followed by MindsDB dot name of the predictor model. So you can give any name you wish. For now, I am keeping it as Tesla predictor. Then what we want to do is we will say from which database. So it will be from files. So it will be the database where the table is present. So as you can see in the above query, it is files.tesla. So I will say from files. Then we will say select star from Tesla. So this is like what all columns I want to feed into the model while training. So I'll say I want to feed all of the columns. So it is a select star from Tesla. Then what we want to do is we'll say predict close. So here we want to predict the stock price. So stock price is nothing but the closing of each day. And then what we want to do is we'll order this by the date. So this is basically a time series prediction model. So in time series, we generally don't predict something, rather we forecast the future values. So what we want to do here, if you look at this table now, so you can see there is a date column and every day we have a opening value and a closing value. So this is for 29th, then 30th, then first, second, and then sixth, seventh. So this is how it is arranged. So now while training the predictor also, we will say we want to feed all these columns, but they should be ordered by the column date. So I'll say order by date. The next thing we want to provide is a window. So what window does here is, suppose I will write window 120. So what window will do here is like it will instruct the model that you pick up the last 120 records from this table to train the model. Okay, and then I'll say like horizon. So what horizon will do now is it will we can define like how many days we want to predict, like how many days we want to forecast into the future from the last available date in this table. So let's say 60. I want to forecast it for the next 60 days. So the create predictor statement looks something like this: create predictor MindsDB dot name of the predictor from database name, then select star from table name, then predict target value, order by the date, then the window size, then the horizon size. So this is how the syntax will look like. So let us now execute this one. Okay, so it says the query successfully completed, but it will take a while for the model to be trained. So we can check the status meanwhile. So the command for that is select status from MindsDB dot predictors. So each and every predictor model that we train, it stays inside the predictors table. So it is from MindsDB dot predictors. Then we'll say where name equals name of this predictor model. So I'll copy this name from here and I will paste it over here. And then we'll run this one to get the status. So the current status is training. So basically a predictor model will return you three kinds of status. The first one, initial one, is generating. Then the second one is training, and the final one will be complete. So now you have to wait until you get the status as complete. As complete means the model is ready and we can start doing the forecast. So let's run this command again now and see if the status has changed. But it's still training. So we'll wait a while and then we'll run this command again. Okay, so the status is complete now. So we are ready to forecast the stock prices. But before we start forecasting, let us try to understand the predictor model that we trained. So by default, MindsDB provides us with three kinds of describe statements that we can use to learn more about the model. So the first one will be something like this: describe MindsDB dot name of the predictor model, which is Tesla predictor, then dot features. So this is how the describe statement looks: describe MindsDB dot name of the predictor model dot features. So when we use this command, so it finds out the roles of each of the column that it serves to the model and also the encoders that are used on them. So we will run this command now. So as I said, so these are all the column names that are present in the table, and these are the type of data they store, and these are the encoders that are used while training on these columns, and this says what role it plays for the model. So we are predicting the close value, so it is the target for the model, and rest everything is the feature set. So now let us go to the other command. So what I will do is I will copy this one and I will paste it below, and I will change the features to model. So you can choose to describe it by model if you want to figure out the underlying candidate models that were used during the training, along with the one that was finally selected for this predictor. So let us run this one. So as you can see, these are the underlying candidate models, and this column shows the performance result. So neural TS has the highest performance out of all this, and the training time is kind of a bit higher in neural TS, but the accuracy function is bounded time series accuracy. So based on the accuracy functions, this one is selected. So that's why we have this one in this selected column for neural TS. So neural TS is the underlying candidate model which will work for this predictor. And the third one will be ensemble. So what this does is, if you are interested to further deep dive and find out how this candidate model was selected, then you can try describing it by ensemble. So this will return you a JSON result with all the parameters that help to determine the best candidate model. So let us run this one. So as I said, it returns a JSON output with all the parameters and all the listing that help to determine the best candidate model. So now we learned the details about the model that we just created. Now let's start to predict or forecast the stock prices. So what we want to do now is we will say something like select t dot date as date. Then we'll say we want to select t dot close as forecast, and also close underscore explain. So I'll make you understand each one of this. So just wait till I write this query out. And then what we want to do is we'll say something like from MindsDB dot Tesla predictor as t join files dot Tesla as t where t dot date greater than. We'll provide a value here, and we'll say we want to find the next 10 days. So it is a limit 10. So as this is a time series prediction, what we are doing here is we are asking to return us the date. Okay, so date, the forecasted date actually. So the table contains the dates up to a specific period. Now this predictor model will, as the limit is 10, so what this predictor model will do, it will predict the next 10 days. Okay, so what is the last date that is present in the table? From that date, it will try to forecast the stock price for the next 10 days. Okay, so we gave an alias to this predictor model as t. So t dot date as date. So the table it will return, there will be a column named as date, which will be fetched from the forecasted date by the predictor. So t dot date, it's not p, it's t. Okay, so we are not really displaying the date from the table, as the the future dates doesn't exist on the table itself. Rather, it will be created by the predictor. So it is a t dot date as date. Then we want to forecast the closing price, right? So it is t dot close as forecast, and then we have a close explain. So this will return a JSON with all the confidence value, anomaly, truth values, and all. So that is so these are the three columns that we want to fetch in the result. So and then we are joining it with the Tesla table, which is as p, and what you are saying that the date p dot date should be greater than something. Okay, so whatever date we provide, it will try to forecast from that, the future dates from that day based on the limit, like for the next 10 days. So one thing we will do now, go to the top and we will say order by date DESC. So we will execute this one. Select star from files.tesla order by date DESC limit 10. So it will return the last 10 records in the table in a descending order. So I'll run this one now. Okay, so as you can see, the last date present in the table is 3rd of February 2020. Okay, so let us copy this one and let us go down, and here where p.date, we'll paste this one where p.date is greater than the last date that is available in the table. Now we'll execute this one and we'll see if we are able to forecast the value of the stock price for the next 10 days. So I'll hit run now. So it will take a while. So let's see. Okay. So as you have seen, the last date was 3/2/2020. So now we were able to forecast it from 4. So 4th of 5th, 6th, and so on. And we'll have 10 records, right? So we asked to predict for the 10 records. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we were able to fetch 10 records from the last date that was available in the table. So 4th, 5th, 6th. So the model is working fine and we were able to fetch the values of the future. Okay. So now in the close explain, we have the predicted value. We have the confidence, which is 0.999. So the model is 99.9% confident that this predicted value is true. Okay. So now let us try to do something else. So what I'll do now is I'll copy this one and I will paste it below. And here what we will do, we will try to, we'll ask this model to predict the value of last 30 days which are existing in the table along with the next 30 days. Okay. So what we want to do here is I'll say the last date was 3rd of February. So let us change it to 3rd of January and change this date to 60. So now what will happen is like it will predict till the 3rd of February, which is already existing in the table. And also it will try to predict from 3rd of February to 3rd of March. So total 60 days. So here we want to also fetch another column in the result table. So I will say p.close. So for the existing 30 days, we want to see what is the forecast value and what was the actual value. And for the future dates, this column will have null values. So we'll execute this one. And here, as you can see, we got the records. So here we have the dates like 6th of January, and we have the 30 days that were present. So till here, as you can see, 31st of Jan, we got the values for the close column as well as it was present in the existing table. And from there on, the p.close. So these are the future dates which are not present in the table. That's why the values are null. But we got the forecast for everything. Okay. So this is how we were able to predict the stock prices of Tesla. So that's all for this video. I hope you had a great time watching it. So drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and do share it with your friends. And before you leave, don't forget to drop a GitHub star on the MindsDB repository. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.